Millie Swanson Harris, March 2025. Grandma Catherine's sister Margaret, her husband Swede, and 3 of their children, Leela, Lisa, and Ross. Grandma Catherine's brother Elgin and his wife Alpha, and one of their grandchildren. Steve and Millie, probably ages 14 and 15. Steve is Millie's brother. Floyd Kaufman on the far right. Next to him, Aunt Winnie, his sister-in-law, sister to my Grandma Millie. Next to her, another sister, Fern. Next to her, Winnie's husband, Stillman Dempsey. This is Jean and Jim, the twins, Aunt Margaret's oldest children. Millie and Steve leaving the fields after a hot day in harvest. We spent many summers working in pea harvest. This is Millie by the patio at our Milton Freewater home, looking kind of morose. Millie with her friend Joanne just before Powder Puff football, our junior year in high school. This is Grandma Catherine and her father, Grandpa Floyd Kaufman, and her 6 siblings. From the left in front, Aunt Margaret, Aunt Nan, Grandpa Floyd, and Grandma Catherine. In back, from left, Uncle Elgin, Uncle Jack, Uncle Tom, and Uncle Bob. Millie had a deal from her mother, Grandma Catherine. When it came to graduation, I wanted a new swimsuit. Grandma said she'd get me that swimsuit if I'd wear it under my graduation robe. So this is me getting ready for that graduation. And no one knew the difference. That swimsuit was there. My friend Corinne also did that. This is Millie and Grandpa Floyd. I was probably about 14, 15. Aunt Winnie and Grandpa Floyd, this is great Aunt Winnie, climbing the steps, the pioneer steps of the pioneers in Milton Freewater. The steps were inscribed. The ones at the top there, Kaufman, Joseph and Jane Kaufman were Grandpa Floyd's parents. Carrie and S.S. Shields, Samuel Shields, were Grandma Millie's parents. That's just 2 of the steps at the Pioneer Steps in Milton Freewater. Steve drove a forklift at the local apple packing house in Milton Freewater. Grandma's brothers from left, Uncle Elgin, Uncle Bob, Uncle Tom, and Uncle Jack. There is Uncle Tom with 2 of his little girls, looks like Jody and Jill, when they were tiny. And there's Jill sitting with Grandpa Neil, Grandma Catherine's husband, my dad, with his favorite pipe. Me and 3 cousins from left, Alicia, Jackie, Jenny, and me, Millie. This is on the left, Becky, and then Nancy, and then Aunt Winnie behind on the steps. Grandpa Neil, my dad, at our home in Milton Freewater, all dressed up. 4 generations. Steve on the left, Millie's brother Steve, Grandpa Floyd Kaufman, his Steve's son Robbie, and Grandma Catherine on the right. 4 generations. Very proud. There's Robbie. He was probably about 2. He was born in Grandpa Neil on his lawnmower in Milton Freewater with pipe in mouth. There's Robbie over Grandma's shoulder when she's sewing. He was so happy. Steve and Robbie. Steve, Robbie, and Maria. Steve was in the Navy. He must have been just leaving to go somewhere. And there's Robbie having a good time on Daddy's back. Grandma, Steve, and Robbie. Looks like Steve must have been deploying at that point. There's Grandma Catherine in Germany, Munich, I believe, having a beer. And there she is at the Eiffel Tower. I can't remember exactly what year she did this trip. There's me at age 22 or 23 with the only really long hair I ever had. Grandpa Neil with Rick, Steve's second little boy. Rick was probably about 2. There's Grandpa Neil, pipe in mouth, with Robbie, looking happy. Grandma Catherine got a new robe for Christmas that I made for her, and she loved it. Pink plush velour. So beautiful on her. She was excited. Grandpa Neil got a new cribbage board. He liked that cribbage board. You can see that he smoked cigarettes there. Look at them, 2 little lovebirds as she's ironing. Grandpa Floyd and Aunt Fern, whom he married after Grandma Millie died. There's Grandma and Grandpa. Christmas morning still, new robe, new hat, and new slide projector. Grandpa Floyd with Rick. Great Grandpa. Robbie and Ricky, probably about 5 and 3. More pipes. Grandpa Neil and Rick, looking so cute. Ah, the Christmas morning kiss in front of the tree. Grandpa loved his new hat. Grandma loved her new robe. And the curlers. We slept on them. They were enormous. They were no fun and not pretty. This is Maria, Steve's wife. Robbie doing Christmas cookies, probably with Grandma and Millie and Maria. Grandpa loved his new hat. He's a Norwegian. He loves snow, and he loved that furry hat. 2 boys and Grandpa Neil. Robbie, Ricky, Grandpa Neil. Oh, the curlers are coming out. The hair doesn't look so great. What am I going to do? Playing the piano together, Millie and Grandma Catherine, Millie and Mom. There's Millie and... This is me in an ad in a TV Guide magazine that I posed for when I was working for Time Life Books. I don't remember the details, but that's it. My claim to fame. This is my cubicle at Time Life Books. Note the typewriter and all other old school tech. Same cubicle, old school telephone, old school typewriter. I was there from 72 to 77. First day in New York City under the Empire State Building. Grandpa on his bicycle. Look at that guy go. Grandma Catherine, Grandpa Neil, all dressed up for bridge party probably. There's Uncle Jack with one of his little ones. Aunt Leslie Ann on the left, that's Jack's wife, and Aunt Nan on the right. Cute photo of the 2 of them. This is a quilt that Grandma made as a gift for me. Each piece on the quilt was done by a friend or family member. It's a real treasure, and I still have it. Aunt Nan, she was such a card. She climbed right up on that truck. This is mid-60s. That's Grandpa Floyd there. He was a farmer all his life, retired now, but still loved to get out there and see the fields and the crops and the equipment and the combines. Grandma Catherine dressed up in her dress that came from Egypt, I believe, probably going to a ladies' meeting of some sort. Me not dressed up in my old purple robe, which was very cozy and comfy. Grandma and Ricky, he was probably about 1.5. Lots of hair, so cute. Steve and Ricky in Denver maybe. And there's little Rick again. He was the cutest kid. And Rob with his Christmas lute. Look at that smile. And there's the family. Steve, Maria, Robbie, Ricky. I visited Chicago with Mom to visit Steve and Maria. He was in the Navy at a base north of Chicago. So we dressed up and went downtown, checked it all out. With the boys in their home at the Navy base. Grandma and Rick, happy baby. Grandpa Floyd with Rick and Rob. They got lots of love. This final shot is me, Millie, diving in Milton Free Water. I spent my summers teaching myself how to dive. This is an inward dive where you jump backwards and dive forwards. I spent days, hours, every day at the diving board in the Milton Free Water pool. Loved it. And I was the one-person diving team.